I am not saying that the markets aren't hard. I think that this is a perfect illustration of how it feels, especially for new traders. Everybody else seems to have their rhythm and somehow managing to navigate the difficult waters, but many times you can find yourself flipping head over tail. Guys, this is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you for joining me today. We've got a lot of exciting things happening in the market. We've got a big week ahead of us. I'm going to outline 3 things you guys need to be paying attention to. We've got Bitcoin making a new 52-week high, breaking above $50,000. I've got some fresh technicals on that, as well as a big picture view of what might happen in the next couple months. People are feeling the FOMO right now on Bitcoin. Now, you guys know I'm set. I've been saying on this channel for over a year, the week that we hit bottom, I called it a buy and I called the bottom, and I've been buying in that time frame all the way up until the present. I'm not buying any more Bitcoin, so I'm not feeling any FOMO. I'm just feeling the excitement of watching it climb higher and higher. Right now, my biggest goal is to try to find the next Solana or the next micro coin that's going to 40x while I watch my Bitcoin bags grow. But we're going to break down the charts on Bitcoin and let you know what to expect. Guys, if you feel like you're flipped upside down today in these markets when everybody else seems to be making money, hit the subscribe button and we'll do it together. All right, let's talk about what's happening this week in the market. We've got to keep our eye when the markets are running strong, the bulls are pushing forward. We've got to keep our eye on inflation, and we're going to get 2 big inflation data reports this week. We've got the CPI coming out tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and then on Friday we've got the PPI coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Now, here's the bottom line. The Fed is going to be watching these tools, and if they come in hot, then there is the idea that he might be cutting rates sooner than anybody thinks. But if these inflation data points come in lower, it means that the Fed is not going to be cutting, which at the moment, I think the market then believes that this market could continue to go higher because the economy is strong and the damage of inflation is coming down. It's what everybody refers to as the perfect Goldilocks market environment. Some think we're in the middle of it. Well, we're going to find out Tuesday and Friday, so keep your eye on those reports. Both of them are pre-market. Then the second thing we need to be keeping our eye on is we've got more earnings reports and more earning play opportunities. Tomorrow, in particular, I'm watching Shop, and I want to read this article to you guys. I found it interesting. Shopify pre-earnings option trade offers a 224% annual return. Now, if you dive into the article, what they're actually talking about is the fact that the implied volatility for both the calls and the puts have gone through the roof. And so the recommendation is for you to sell covered calls to take an opportunity of the decay in implied volatility. Now, some of that might have just gone over your guys' heads, but let me just briefly comment on what I see happening in the charts and what I see happening with Shopify. These guys are doing well. This is a call that we made a long time ago, back in 2022, with the fact that it could reach these numbers. Now, I want you guys to see this structural support and resistance that's ahead of us. I think it seems inevitable, almost like destiny at this point, that we're going to come up to the top of this channel and touch it between now and earnings or at earnings. Now, at that point, let me just identify, a lot of people are going to think, well, it's the perfect time to buy a put if this thing is going to come down. But if you understood that news article, what they were telling you is that the cost of the puts had become so expensive. Once we get the news and the Shopify stock calms down, then the IV, the premium that you pay for the puts, could drop dramatically instead of going up. And so that's a problem that a lot of new traders, again, folks on that bridge that's rocking back and forth, they don't understand how the market works. And that's why I'm trying to teach you guys. So even buying a put at the perfect point in time when the stock begins to crash could lose value because of the loss of IV. Guys, keep your eyes on that. Now, other notable earnings this week, we've got Lyft reporting on Tuesday a.m. Now, they're contending with a Uber driver strike from what I've heard. I haven't dived into that deeply myself, but it could be a concern for Lyft. Then we've got Datadog reporting on Tuesday p.m. That's an interesting one. DraftKings, I'm definitely going to be playing, and I'll cover that this week, and you'll get technicals in the Discord on that one. And then we've got Coinbase reporting Thursday. I'm likely to play Coinbase as well. I'd love to hear from you guys what you guys are watching. Now, on that point, I wanted to briefly share with you guys that the last 3 times I've given a trade alert in the Discord on Tesla, it's proven to be a 55% winner, which would be $200 on each put put, which means that if you owned 20 of them, that if you had invested $6,000, you would have made $4,000 in 30 minutes on that particular play. That's the type of play that we're giving in the Discord. Guys, don't sleep on the Discord. Join the Discord to get the trade alerts, the technicals, and some of my thoughts on earnings as we go into this week. All right, important thing that we're going to be keeping our eyes on this week is actually housing data that's coming out Friday. Now, here's what the point I want to make to you guys about housing data. We're going to get housing starts and building permits, right? And if that comes in strong, it simply means that there are investors that smart money is wanting to put money to work in this economy right now, not fearing a major collapse. And so this particular data report is just as important as the jobs report that we recently got that caused the markets to go higher. This one is just as important. If this number comes in weak or comes in soft, it might mean that a lot of the smart money knows that the economy is getting ready to take a turn and they're not willing to put their money to work in real estate. But if it comes in hot, then it means that we've got some more months that this market can continue to climb. We know that the Fed is going to be watching both numbers. We know that the Fed will look at the CPI, the PPI, then he's going to look at that housing data, and that's going to play a big impact in his decision. So we'll also be watching the housing data coming out Friday. Guys, real quick before I get into Bitcoin, if you need better trade tools, I want you to check out the Moomoo investment app. Right now, these guys are giving away 8.1% for new accounts, which means that you can just pile some money in there, let it sit, don't have to buy anything, don't have to take any risk whatsoever, and you're going to earn 8.1%, which is really, really good. In addition to that, you can actually get up to, when you initially create your account and fund it, you can get up to 15 stock. Pretty nice offer. Click on the link in the top pinned comment. All right, let's cover crypto. Guys, Bitcoin shooting off to the moon above $50,000. It's incredible that we're here at this point. I'm amazed. As I said to you guys earlier, I'm just watching my investments from months gone by rise in value. The big question that's going to be on everybody's mind is, are we going to get a pullback? Are we coming back to 35 or 36,000? We had previous structure support at around 31, 32. It never came back and tested it. Now, we have seen in past cycles that Bitcoin could fall significantly in just 2 to 3 months before the halving event. But in my last Bitcoin video, I warned that we're running out of time. The closer we get to the end of February, we really would not have the time to get down to that 31 or 32,000, which means that it's slowly coming off the table. Now, if we go and look at the RSI to get some signal as to the momentum of this move, whether it's going to continue to fire higher right now, the fact is that momentum has been cooling ever since October 2023. So we have been coming down in momentum this entire time. So we know it's losing steam, so we've got to go and look other places into the technicals to see what clues we might have. To do that, we're going to go look at some of the candles. Now, recently we had an extremely bearish candle when we made the last push up. It sold off hard. It gave us a very, very tall wick. We consolidated, moved sideways for a little while, and then we got a very bullish candle with a very tall tail, and it shot us up to where we're at right now. It 100% signaled this move. And so we're going to have to wait and see how this week closes out and how next week closes out. But I'll tell you, to be honest, the structural support in my mind has shifted. I don't see that we have enough time, but I know the minute I say that, then, Bitcoin turns around and crashes. But it doesn't appear to me that Bitcoin has enough time to come down to that 31 or 32,000. So at this moment, we're looking for a structural test at 42 to 41,000 at the most. That's what it looks like to me right now, unless we were to get some significant fundamental news that would scare everybody, that would cause everybody to sell in a panic. If we continue just with regular price action, 41 to 42 might be the lowest that we see. Now, how does this impact the miners? A lot of you guys are trading the miners. Some of you are not even in Bitcoin. The fact is, in a recent video, I had warned that the miners, I was specifically looking at Mara, and I said, if it stays above $18 by the end of this week, it's signaling that it's pushing higher. It's exactly what it did. Guys, that's why we read the charts. We have opinions on the charts, but then we got to keep looking at the charts every day to see if those opinions that we had previously made are correct. And I had warned, don't be shorting the miners right now, because right now, Mara, Riot are definitely above support and have the ability to go higher, and they absolutely did go higher. But I'm going to tell you the same thing that we see over there with them, is that they're losing steam. The up move is getting lost. but the pullback range has changed. At this point, I think the most significant pullback that you could possibly expect on, let's say, Mara would be a back test to that neckline, which is held up as critical support. We're not looking at 9.5 to 10, 11, or $14 anymore on them. Even though that is possible, it doesn't seem practical to me at the moment. As I've said to you guys in the past, I own all the Bitcoin I'm going to own. I have pretty much owned all the Ethereum I'm going to own, even though I am looking at possibly buying some more Ethereum. But right now, I'm in search for micro coins that could 10, 20, 30, 40x while I watch my previous winter investments of the legacy coins continue to grow and grow. That's how I'm playing the crypto market right now. Hit that subscribe button if you want to join me on that journey and get some of these important calls. And don't neglect that Discord because there's some big bucks being made over there as well. Thank you guys. Peace and blessings. We'll talk to you soon.